The stream may not be for you, but consider this: is YouTube worth making the video or trying to do your thing right now? I mean, I'm just trying to wake up. Forgive me. So basically, consider this: is YouTube the place right now to be making videos in 2018? Forgive me. Forgive me. What's going on, Kenneth fam? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Don't get it confused. Mel is not fighting for major backing or validation. I've been popping. I got options. I've been cracking. This did happen. But anyway, forgive me. I'm all over the place. It depends. The answer to that question is it depends. Is YouTube, worth making videos? Is it worth it to make videos on YouTube in 2018? And that really all depends on what you want to do with this thing. Forgive me. I'm still waking up. If you really want to make money off of this thing, you can actually speak to other YouTubers and look at other folks doing this on other levels or whatever. Nothing much, brother, just sleepy. Yeah, I know it is like being sleepy, Kenneth. I appreciate it. You know, I'm waking up myself. But I wanted to just give these thoughts out there. I'll be on here for a little minute. Unpack this, unravel this, or whatever the case may be. A lot of people are wondering why their videos are not getting, the views that it should. Maybe people are questioning their content. Folks are questioning, like I said, what's going on as far as the platform and things like that. There's been a lot of changes and stuff like that. YouTube is trying to protect its position. Bigger YouTubes have tried to protect their position as well. They've done the thing with the whole ad apocalypse. They've done the thing where the guidelines have been changed. That's why I said this is funny when you have bigger YouTubers saying the pressures of being a YouTuber. A lot of these bigger YouTubers fought for this to happen. They fought for it to be a situation where the playing field was fair and there's more ad revenue coming into their pockets, and you're still seeing that it's a challenge because they forgot about the corporate side of it, the political interests that go into this, the advertisers and what they want from this whole particular thing. And I'm going to speak this for the record. Like I said, I mean, whether folks listen to this or not, I mean, me just speaking it is saying, look, it's different. YouTube is different from what it was in 2012, 2013, even 2010. It's different from the time when they first started letting people, just in droves into the, what is the assets revenue plan, or more people were able to make money, just as long as you had 1,000 views on the video and stuff like that. It's a different time from that time, which is only a couple of years ago. For those folks who may care about that, may not care about that. So when it comes to making videos in 2018, if it's worth it, it depends on what you're here to do. If it's just a pure money grab and you have your stuff together and you're all the way there where you understand the marketing, you understand the promotion side of it, the business aspect of it, and you have the audience, then definitely, you plug yourself into this situation and you just go. You go without regard or almost reckless abandon or whatever the case may be. You've sorted out, and let the chips fall where they may after the fact. However, if you don't have the infrastructure, if you don't have the team to back in, and you really are strapped for time and you really don't have the time to develop and grow, then maybe YouTube is not the place for you, as far as the money aspect is concerned. Now, if you're just doing it to have fun, of course, great place to come, have fun, engage with people, just see what you can do. There's nothing wrong with it, but on the flip side, conversely, if you are strapped for time, if you don't have the resources, if you don't have, just the organizational skills to put yourself out there, if you're not willing to learn and grow, as a creator, as a producer, as a, just an overall, type of, creative or whatever the case may be, then it comes to a situation where, like I said, you can second guess this or whatever the case may be. But conversely, if you're ready for it, then take the challenge. Jump into it. I mean, YouTube has changed as far as what will work on here and what won't work on here. There's people that do the trending topics. There's people who do the algorithm thing. There's people who have their audience. There's people who are kind of linked in, and it is hard as Casey Neistat has said, to get attention on here. It's not impossible, but you ask yourself the question, what is, is it worth it? Peyton Kisses, thank you for coming through. Um, I just say to different people, it's nothing wrong with being on the platform just to actually, interact with people, because there's a lot of people who are on the platform who don't upload anything. They're just supporters of the community. And, those people I salute, and I thank you for coming through, and I appreciate you folks as well. But you have to really know what you want out of this platform, excuse me, in 2018, in order to be on here making videos, because the competition is fiercer than it's ever been. You have people who are, high on the spectrum, who dominate, the field. They could, like, somebody could do the same video that has more subscribers than me, or who's a bigger YouTuber, and this would be like a viral video. But me, and conversely, doing the same thing, YouTube has, its way of hiding you, and then they got the new notification system and things like that. I think you have the passion for sharing yourself and what you like, of course. Yeah, no, you should have a passion for what you're sharing, yourself and what you like, of course, you should. But I try to tell people, temper their expectations with the fact that YouTube does have, an agenda. There are other people on the top who have different advantages and things that they've done that, may not come to people, the new ones coming in. There'll be a few that break through, but I don't think it'll be as many as that'll break through as it would have been, as it would have been in the past. There's going to be a lot of people that are successful with this platform. There's still a lot of people that make money. There's people that are going to get that push. Now it's more selective. Before, you had more of a chance to become that next YouTube sensation, but you got to remember, it costs YouTube, to pay out people after they become YouTube sensations and get that influence, and you got to cut the right checks to the right people. That's another story. But then the reality of it is that people have to understand, YouTube is not the thing that's going to make you rich. You can become famous on this platform, but people normally get the money from the sponsorships. And you can go through the PewDiePies, the L Mills, the Roman Atwoods, the Philip DeFrancos, the Tyler Oakleys, the Lily Singhs. You can people, whether they're mid-level, whether they're high on the spectrum. At some point, it becomes about the sponsorships. It really does become about that. Yeah, it becomes about that. People don't understand. You can have all the influence you want on here. You can, sponsorship from Coca-Cola, and people, would be expected to buy Coca-Cola because you may push that, or you may advertise it, or you may put it out there and make that something for somebody to really get into. So there's a business aspect of it that if you're ready to understand, hey, why not? Come here, make videos, do what you got to do. But it comes down to the whole thing now. What do you want? What do you want from this thing? Let's say you're somebody who don't care about the sponsorships. You don't care about the money. Screw all that. You just want to be around. You just want to learn. Excuse me. YouTube is a great place right now to learn how to make videos. It's a great place to learn how to edit. It's a great place to come here, gather information, be around the community, learn how to put yourself out there, learn how to promote yourself for the future. A lot of people may be looking at, okay, right now I want to be a YouTube star. In the next month, in the next year or so, the next 2 years, I want to be that larger than life individual that you come on YouTube and look at it. You have to look at the long game. YouTube is here for now. It's structured the way it is for people for now, but it may not be this way forever. YouTube is already slowly but surely structuring itself into a way where if it wasn't set up the way it's set up now, and it was just a subscription service, they could do that. You look at YouTube Red, you look at YouTube TV, you look at the preferred programs and stuff like that. They may cherry pick people and decide who they want to develop content with. It happens. People may not look at it, may not see it, you may not care, but at the same time, it's a situation where there's a system in place. Now, screw all that. Me talking about being a system in place and sponsorships and money and all that stuff like that. For you, the new subscriber that is coming in here today, for you, the small YouTuber that's been on here for a while, such as myself, that's trying to figure out, what the heck do I do with this, or what happens, you have a great opportunity to learn. This is a great opportunity to learn your editing skills, to learn how to promote, to learn how to produce, to learn how to network, to really understand the social media landscape and whatnot. You know, this is a situation where you can become so much more, you know, by just being involved and being engaged with other people who are into this and just want to create and just want to grow and just want to create, you know, like they you know, like network and, you know, gather, you know, folks around as a community, as a collective. You know, it's something where there's a lot of people out there who are talented. There's a lot of people who may get passed over, who won't be recognized on YouTube. I'm letting you know. You know, the cat's out of the bag if you don't know. There's a lot of us out here who have great content that won't be recognized on this platform. There's some of us that will be, you know what I'm saying? But not all of us are going to be recognized. Not everybody is going to make it through or crack the glass ceiling or, you know, get the brass ring or the gold play button or the platinum play button. Everybody's not going to get there. A lot of us are not going to get play buttons. But, and I say but and or however, there's a lot of people out there who still have opportunities that are going to come outside of YouTube, beyond YouTube. You have to play the long game. And for those people looking to play the long game on YouTube, yeah, you can make money. You can have things happen. It depends on how you survive and, you know, what you learn and how you develop, learning to be under people. If you have to get somebody to mentor you, you get somebody to mentor you, you know, get somebody to teach you how they've done what they've done. You look and see if they have books, they have strategies. You do things in ways that you've never done it before. You learn to adapt. You know, you take it from maybe one day you're doing vlogs, then you're doing live streams, then you're doing cooking videos, you know, then you take a break, then you come back, you learn. And it's sad because I love and enjoy small YouTubers at the time. I find their content more enjoyable. Yeah, paint kisses. I mean, it does come that way, you know, with the small YouTubers. You will find small to mid-sized YouTubers, you know, probably their content is a little bit more engaging, more enjoyable because they have less of the pressures, you know, less of the strains coming to them and whatnot. Because I will acknowledge the fact that as you get bigger, you know, from what I see, you know, from folks out there, there's more pressures because now every time you upload a video, there's people who want you to see their stuff and give you the shout out and, you know, come by my channel and subscribe to me back and help make me famous, or, you know, can you give me some money? You know, can you give me an opportunity? Can you feature me in your stuff? You know, there's all those things that the bigger YouTubers face, you know, the people, the mid-size, the mid-level. You know, you want the shout out, you want the conversation, you want the talk, you want me to hit you with the golden touch or, you know, once over with the magic wand and then YouTube success, and it don't work like that. And then there's some of us that they have to work, you know, that they have to push it, they have to work at it, they have to become better with our content as far as, you know, like just learning how to speak on camera, you know, learning how to, you know, organize things as far as your set pieces is going, learning how to engage with your audience, you know, really getting into the brass tacks of it all, really looking at the nuts and bolts of all this thing. And there's a lot of people that may or may not do that. It may or may not be for you, you know, but consider this, you know, what if those things were to lead you to better opportunities later on? You know, because people have to remember here on YouTube that YouTube is not the only platform. And when you look around and you go deeper and you find out, you know, how things go as far as influence and online influencers get paid, you know, you learn how to have influence wherever you are. It's almost like Dale Carnegie's, you know, how to win friends and influence people and stuff like that, using that and understanding the skill of influence and, you know, using it responsibly and stuff like that, and learning, you know, where your content fits in the landscape of today's, you know, social media, you know, platforms, and you know, where it will be, you know, where the future of this social media thing will go, because people will always need products sold. You know, that's the thing about advertisement and stuff like that. People will always need things sold. You know, they will always need to sell soap and, you know, cars and clothes and, you know, there's sex and you know, drugs, rock and roll, you know what I'm saying, whether it's legal or not legal, you know what I'm saying, depending on your viewpoint or, you know, where you stand on that argument. There's always going to be product that needs to be sold. You know, there's always going to be, you know, somebody or something that's needed to sell that product, a platform, a place to sell those products, a marketplace for it. The question is, how do you fit into that? You know, and is that something you want to get into? You know, if not, then hey, you know, you come on here, you create your videos, you do your thing, you have fun with it, and you keep it moving. No problem. But if you see more opportunity, understand that it's already an oversaturated market. There's already a lot of people out there who are doing their thing. And I'm not saying any of you can't crack through. There are probably people on this live stream that will crack through, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes the way that the system is set up, it's only designed for certain people to succeed. It's not designed for every and anybody to succeed, even though they say, they like to say, okay, it's the opportunity for all creators to do such and such, such and such. In theory, when you open up a YouTube account, you create an account, you get on here, you start uploading content, you putting things out there. In theory, like I said, everybody's supposed to have a flair, a fair, and just playing field and whatever the case may be. But then you realize that when you start getting into it, people do see your stuff, they evaluate it. It's just, it's different. No problem, Paying Kisses. I appreciate you for stopping by. I'm still gonna, be here for a little bit, just going through it or whatever the case may be. I don't know if it's gonna be zero now, but you know, just saying what I gotta say or whatever the case may be. I'm just thinking, like I said, hopefully I'm making sense. Hopefully it's coming from the right place or whatever the case may be. I know it's coming from the right place. It's just my opinion, my thoughts on the matter. As I got zero in the chat, but it's all good. I don't know. It's really a thing where you look at the development side of it. If it wasn't for the ability to develop, if it wasn't for the ability to still learn how to promote and learn how to use the algorithm and learn how to use, the networking skills, or a place for you to really grow and mature till you get on that big stage or till you reach to that other level or crack through and get noticed in a way that you would like to get noticed, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitter. I don't know if people still do Snapchat thing, or whatever the new thing is moving forward, because YouTube will still have its influence, just like, Yahoo still has its influence, but the reality is Yahoo is not what it used to be as well. So, Microsoft Bing, is not what, it should be or whatever, but you never know what the next big thing is. You never know what the next big Facebook will be or the next big YouTube situation will be. It could be Twitch, so you never know. Amazon may come out with whatever that new thing is or whatever that next thing is. So it comes down to a point where I see it as a development, more of a development stage, as far as YouTube coming on here and, putting out content and doing things and just learning and growing and whatnot. I do believe it's worth putting out content if you know what you want to do with it. If you're really willing to take the time to learn, if you're willing to take the time to fall flat, if you're willing to take the time out to dust yourself off, to watch tons of videos, to be, to be amongst the crowd and try to constantly, tweak and revamp and adapt and whatnot and stuff like that. It is a situation where you do what you can, you do what you know how to do, you look at what's working, and eventually you change it up, you switch it up to what will work and what will, generate something for you. But it's tricky. It's tricky. You have to have the confidence in yourself. This will test you. Being here on YouTube, it will test you. Sometimes you'll be sitting here by yourself wondering, why are folks not watching? What's wrong with it? And, am I not good enough as a creator, or, what's going on? And then there's other times when, you'll have a video that you never thought was anything, and then, you'll have a whole bunch of people, on your live stream or, at your door, whatever the case may be. So it really depends on what you're looking for, as it pertains to this whole YouTube experience, because it's so easy to get discouraged. It's so easy to get lost in the shuffle. It's so easy to get lost in the crowd. It's so easy to feel as if you're not good enough to be on this platform or to be on any platform, because people may not pay attention to you the way they pay attention to other folks. And sometimes their content could be garbage. But you learn your niche, you learn your passion, you understand your audience. I think YouTube is still the perfect place for that. Especially with all the things that they provide and how it transpires or whatever the case may be. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'll be back. Who is that? I'm back. I'm back. Sorry about that. If you're still here, thank you for still being here. Um. Anyway, had to take care of that. Yeah. I don't know. It comes down to it when you hear on YouTube. Oh man, I'm back. Yeah, for anybody that's still watching or whatever the case. It comes to it where you got to believe in what you're doing. You know, you got to stick with it as hard as it is sometimes. You know, because there are times when it won't make sense, and you may not have the support that you feel like you deserve. You know, it may be a situation where you feel like, you know what, I try things and maybe I'm doing everything wrong. And sometimes there are things that are beyond your scope. Like, to give you an idea, for anybody out there that may listen to this, may not listen to this, I don't know. It comes down to, I remember when I was on Google Plus, still on Google Plus, but I used to share my videos and stuff on Google Plus hard. I mean, I would promote my stuff, I would put my things out there, all that stuff. And I would get decent views. I would get like, a couple of hundred views, or, even 1,000 views here, there, whatever the case may be. And then the structure changed, how, much money they put into Google Plus and whatnot, they stopped funding it. So now structurally things change because, it wasn't a platform that was widely used. So that's something that plays a factor when it comes into what you're doing on, any platform. Because whatever influence or whatever vibe you have or whatever popularity or success that you get, in one area is not what you always get, in the next area. Things change, stuff happens, and whatever the case may be. What's going on, Sam Plays? Appreciate that. Thank you for being here. So it really, like I said, it really depends on what you're looking for here. If, like I said, if you're just looking for a fun time, if you're just looking to see yourself, on camera, to hear yourself play back, to, really share videos with your friends and do stuff like that, then definitely, this is a platform you can still do that from. But it's kind of sad, because there's a lot of people on here, who want the opportunity, who want to get attention, who want to get noticed. And it takes a little bit more to get noticed. It takes a little bit more to really get yourself out there, to really push it as it pertains to YouTube, because there's so many people here. There's the overcrowding aspect of it. We don't like to talk about that, but the reality is, sometimes it can be overbearing trying to, be noticed in a sea of voices, in a sea of people that are probably doing the same thing as you. It's a difference if, it's you the only one that's live streaming, or you're the only one that's vlogging, or, you're just a few people that are vlogging in the way that you vlog, but it becomes something when you have, a million people vlogging at the same time, or live streaming at the same time, and you're talking in the same way, or it appears that you're doing things in the same style. It's like, how do you stand out? And it's constantly a learning experience. It's constantly, about growing and adapting and changing and stuff like that, to which a lot of people may overlook and miss, when it comes to, this YouTube experience. You have to be willing to, not even just willing, you have to go through the motions, with this thing. You have to, really just, try to soak it up all like a sponge, if you really want to be successful at the whole online creative thing in general. YouTube is just a piece of the whole online creative thing. It's a whole piece of how money is made. There's money made on all platforms. You have to know how that's done. You have to know how influence comes, and what are the guidelines, and what are the ways people really get into things, understanding your audience, understanding what they like and stuff like that, as opposed to just doing what you like. Even with myself, I have to start looking into, okay, well, this is what the audience may want more from me of. This is what may be good at this point, but then I switch up and I adapt to something else. Because with me, for my channel, I can't just live stream and live stream and live stream all day, because there's plenty of people who live stream, especially the way that I'm live streaming. Things have to change. This is not sustainable for the long term for me to live stream this way or do this, even though this is just for the watch time. Right now this is just for the watch time, and I'm not fooling myself that this is just for the watch time. You have different strategies to how you do your thing here on YouTube, and what you need to be at different times. I've suffered, a lot of views, I mean, I have suffered, on people being disinterested, with the type of content that I'm putting out there, and I understand that, but I understand the purpose for it, just to see if I can meet the guidelines, and whether I meet the guidelines or don't meet the guidelines within this year or next year, that's, beside the point. The thing is, what can I learn from this whole process, moving forward? Have I understood how to become a better content creator? And that's what I tell anybody coming to this platform. If you're a new YouTube creator, coming to this platform and making videos in 2018, it's worth it if it's going to make you a better creator. And something where I'm veering now into uncharted territory for myself, I look at the mid-level to high YouTubers. Now it becomes an issue when you say, okay, do you make videos in 2018? If you're somebody who was making money like that, or has the fan base or whatever the case may be, it depends. It depends on if you're a larger YouTuber, mid-sized YouTuber, or about to be a mid-sized YouTuber, somebody who's going to have maybe 20,000, 100,000, 70,000, whatever, 80,000, subscribers. You have to weigh how many subscribers you have versus how much you're actually getting paid, and how much time and energy you're putting into what you're doing, and is it that return on investment, depending on what it is. Now, if you're fine with, the numbers that you're getting and what you're getting paid and sponsorships and stuff like that, then the only question left is, how long do you do it? What's your exit strategy? Do you have an exit strategy? Do you just do it till you get tired of doing it? That's, your business, your prerogative to have, and for those folks that get there to that next level, and that on that next level, congratulations and kudos to you, especially, working forward and putting the energy and the time and the effort into it, but this is really directed at a lot of us that are just trying to become relevant, that are just trying to get on the radar. And getting on the radar, sometimes, you're one video away, or sometimes you're just, one comment away, or, one collab away, whatever that is, and it takes time, because, it's sometimes it takes, for us to have a break and pull back and learn stuff. It's almost like you look at it as a season, a baseball season, a basketball season. You go through the whole season, and over the summer, or over the whatever, the winter break, whatever, you take time to learn and get yourself together, and then come back and learn different techniques. Like with me, it's been a while since I actually took the time to sit down and learn different techniques. Just learning how to edit or set up stuff, or how do I put myself as far as putting shows together, or different content, putting stuff in an order, predating stuff, or having it ready to go and released at certain times, understanding what's a trending topic, the stuff that people want to hear about, things that people want to talk about, current events, looking at different stuff, just collaborating, or just showing up at other people's live streams, other people's videos. And that's one of the things too, just taking the time out to engage with the community, because the community are the ones that's going to support you. You know what I'm saying? The communities that you're a part of, be it if you're part of the homestead and prepper community, or tech community, 420, whatever's left of that, just, different gamers and stuff like that, cooking community, whatever it is, the comedy community, the black community, gay community, whatever community is here on YouTube, poetry, whatever, whatever community you find yourself being a part of, or even the mainstream, larger, broader, YouTube sphere, whatever that case is, it's important to engage with and try to, talk to and network with the people that you actually see on a regular basis, or the folks that you subscribe to. It's important to go to other people's pages and learn and listen, and just, ask questions, and just watch and see how they, do their thing, and study them. You can study people to see where they've done things right, where they've done things wrong. I even encourage people with me. You can look at things that I've done right, things that I've done wrong. Hopefully it helps you. For me, I've made mistakes with this, in the beginning. I'm not going to sit there and say, that I haven't done things, that I couldn't have done a little bit better. So I try to pass that on to anybody coming into this whole YouTube game, and, just, educate them, or whatever the case may be, saying, look, don't make the same mistakes that I make, moving on into this. I mean, you want to try to get your own niche, you want to try to have it more specialized, as far as, you're doing maybe one or two things. Me, I came in here trying to do everything, but you learn, you live and you learn, and you come at this in a way where, you try to mature, you try to grow, you try to learn from this. I mean, YouTube is a learning experience. I believe it's a maturation process, when it comes to going from being that person that upload and has 5 subscribers to a person that could have 5 million. It's still possible. The question is, how hard do you hustle? What work are you putting in? Like I said, what are you learning from this whole thing? What are you willing to learn and really go through? What I'm saying? Or do you mean what you say, or are you just talking? Are you just saying it as a fantasy? Is this just something that's just a pie in the sky situation? Like, even getting to a point where you meet the YouTube guidelines takes work. It takes work. It does take days where this may seem like it's senseless, it's useless. Nobody's really watching. I only got a couple of people on the live stream. I only got a couple of people, that watch the video. I have to share my video 1,000 times just to get 100 likes, or 50 views, or whatever the case may be. What's up, country girl? Appreciate you for coming through. So I mean, when it comes to this whole YouTube situation, you just have to figure out what it is that, what is it that works for you. What is it that you're looking for here on this platform? What do you want from this? What do you expect from this whole thing? For some people it's just for fun. So some people, they don't matter, they don't care about the money. And for that, hey, kudos to you. As long as, you're getting what you want to get out of it. For those folks that are not doing this for the money, that are not looking for the financial gain, and they're seriously not, and it's just whatever, I still say this to you. Still be careful how much of your time you spend on this thing. Be careful how much energy you put into it, how many resources, vice versa, and what you get, yourself wrapped up into, any drama, any negativity or whatnot, because that can cause a strain on you as well, too. I've seen many live streams on here, people, that have been married, folks that have had, situations going on where they've had to stop live streaming, because basically, the husband wasn't happy, or conversely, the wife, had to do certain things, because, it was, some sickness in the family, or the husband had to stop because the wife was jealous. Who knows? Make sure that you split your time up evenly between YouTube, life, work, all those type of things. Even if you're trying to go after it with the money aspect and things, I'm very happy for anyone that shares your channel. I enjoy sharing you. Really be careful. It can take over. Yeah, no, definitely, country girl. It can take over if you let it. And a lot of times we're trying to reach for that brass ring. We're trying to get that success. We're trying to, live the dream, and, a lot of us won't make it there. I'm not trying to be negative. Some of us will, some of us may be playing the long game for, a different opportunity. Just know that there's different social media platforms. There's different opportunities out there that exist for everybody, in other places. So it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, but it's on Twitter. It's on Facebook as well. Scott King, I see you. It's just opportunities out there. If you're willing to learn, if you're willing to really put yourself out there, not just willing, you have to not be willing and actually execute on the things that are out there. There's tons of information. There's tons of things that you can do. Follow your niche. If you're into cooking, do the cooking thing. If you're into gaming, do the gaming thing. If you're an inspirational person, do the inspirational things. If you got variety in you, do the variety in you. If you're a live streamer and you're really good at talking to people live, then that's what it is. Most that are successful with social media on multiple platforms. Yes, I agree. I agree, country girl. I mean, a lot of people that are successful on multiple platforms, but also too, just knowing, to adapt. You never know when the change of trends will come. You don't know what tomorrow's landscape will look like. You don't know. It's a situation where, you're gonna get discouraged at times. It's gonna seem like it's a waste of time. It's gonna seem like, what the hell am I doing on here? Like I said, I'm not getting the views, I'm not getting the support, or whatever the case may be, but you still keep learning, growing. I tell people, learn how to edit, learn how to promote yourself, understand that there's a business aspect of it, understand how to market and promote other, products, not just, yourself and anything that you have. And if you have something that people want, a service, a product, a way of speaking, or whatever the case may be, then highlight that, highlight your good points, your good features, or whatever the case. Let people know why they should come to your channel. Let people know why they should be engaged with you. Understand, do a nice trailer video or stuff like that. Learn from other people. If you haven't, understood or got yourself in the right place, then look at other people. I look at other people's channels all the time. I need to research a little bit more, but study other people, see where they went wrong. Some of your favorite YouTubers, see what they did right. Look at their strategies. I'm not saying take and copy their whole strategies or their whole style, but try to take notes, tidbits, if this means something to you. If it doesn't mean anything to you, if you're just on here to be on here, if you just troll in or you just want to, play the spoiler, then you can do that as well too. But I know there's a lot of people on here still looking for that opportunity, hearing the stories of, people making, 6-figure checks or, getting paid, 10,000 a month or 20,000 a month or whatever it is, or, making a couple of million a year, whatever the case may be. So it is that, it's just, it takes a lot more work to get noticed on YouTube now than it did before, than it did, 2 or 3 years ago, 5, 10 years ago. And then that's just a matter of market penetration and different social pressures and different, economic things going on with YouTube and whatnot. So, things did change and it will change again. The question is, where do you stand as a creator? Where do you stand moving forward? Where do you stand with your audience? Where do you stand just, learning from the process? What do you want out of this? Do you just want to promote a product? Do you just want to get exposure? Do you just want to, learn how to promote better? Do you want to become an executive producer or director? Stuff like that. Because I see a lot of potential executive producers, a lot of future filmmakers out there. I see a lot of people that have talent out there, but not understanding where they fit in, not understanding where this may work for them. YouTube may be a place where it's just a starting point. It's a stepping stone for you, until you get to where you need to be. You may be here thinking that you're going to rise to the top here when, realistically it's over here where you're supposed to rise and do what you got to do. Exactly. You need to figure out where you want to go and then work towards that goal. Yeah, the country, you have to, or else you'll be stagnant, or else you won't learn, or else, you'll be doing things and it'll seem senseless. You'll be on here like, what the heck is going on? Why am I not getting the numbers? Why am I not growing? Why am I not getting the engagement, that somebody else is getting who's doing the exact same thing as me? And you're not understanding the work and the sweat, blood, and tears that they're putting in behind the scenes. You may not know the stuff that they're doing on another social media platform. Like, for instance, there are people here on YouTube who are getting tons of views still in this platform or this landscape on YouTube, and people are trying to figure out how are they getting 50,000 more views with me when we're doing the same type of content. But what you don't see when you actually take time to really look at it is that person is sharing this stuff on Reddit, sharing this stuff on Twitter, they're sharing this stuff on Facebook. They're taking the time to grow and build up and put together a website. They've actually learned about online marketing. They've understand how to present themselves. It's what it is. I need to get back to paying. Yeah, no, Country Girl, appreciate you. Thank you for coming by. No problem. No problem. Thank you. Whatever time you had, that's great. Appreciate that. Thank you for everybody and anybody being here. It does come with time. It does come with learning. It does come with being able to just, fall flat on your face and then get back up again and then do the same thing again and again and again, but learning each time from, the experiences that you face. Every time I live stream, I try to learn from, the last live stream, I try to learn from, the mistakes and things that I've done, especially if I could go back, if I could watch, and really see how I was engaging, where I was hitting, where I was missing, where I could have just done better, where I shouldn't have done anything at all. And sometimes you have to know the difference between when, you just got to let things be, let the chips fall where they may, as far as, this whole YouTube experience goes. I see too many people who give up too soon. You're right there. You just got to be more consistent. You just got to upgrade your equipment. You just have to be more confident on camera. You just have to be willing to engage with folks just a little bit more. And there'll be folks that I see that are right there. They're right there. And then they give up, they walk away, they abandon it, they may, delete their account or whatever the case may be. Now, sometimes you have to walk away because it's too much. You find yourself getting caught up in things. I was on Twitter and I just found myself having to say, all right, look, that's enough of this. I can't engage myself in this because it's distracting me from different things that I need to do, and there's just a bunch of negativity swirling around that. And that was for me personally. But for some people, it was something that, hey, it's going to work out. It's going to put you in the right mood or, be able to promote your stuff. Who knows? Then there's people on Facebook who understand and learn how to, promote this stuff through Facebook or Twitch or whatever the case may be. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with using multiple platforms. There's nothing wrong with positioning yourself to where you can win at this thing. But I say to folks, it's important to learn the skills necessary to make great content. And a lot of people don't take the time to learn how to make great content. Sometimes we may have a buzz, we may have an audience, we may be popular, But even if you have a buzz, a popularity, or whatever the case may be, it's important to, especially as a small YouTuber, to learn how to upgrade and get the equipment and learn how to use, the proper software. You don't have to have the best equipment to start off. You start where you are and you go from there. However, learn how to use the software, learning how to edit, learning how to promote yourself, understanding contracts, understanding, just the promotional aspect of, this whole thing and how people get paid once the influence comes. It is worth the while. It is worth understanding and knowing, just in case. You never know what's going to happen with YouTube. You never know what's going to happen with your channel, but being able to take that, structure that you put together, that strategy or whatever that you have, and take it somewhere else, is valuable. It's valuable to be able to take, something that you're doing on YouTube and translate it to Twitter, to translate it to Facebook, to translate it to Twitch, Reddit, whatever platform may exist out there, Tumblr, people still use that. Being able to take your influence from place to place and still be as effective, that's something in that. That's something to learn from that. Just learning how to do all this stuff. I'm still laying my foundations. There you go, Scott King. You're still laying your foundations. Hopefully, other folks are learning from the foundations as well. But there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to unpack. And then there's a lot of people on YouTube, who have sound advice on different things that you can do. Putting together email lists, understanding how to use OBS, just, learning how to network, writing scripts, setting up collabs, and, different things that people do, so it's nothing that can't be learned. It's nothing that can't be done as far as getting the numbers that you probably should have. It's just about being there in the right place at the right time after you've learned what you need to learn, and strike while the iron is hot. It takes time. Some people may get it like that, but see, even when somebody comes on YouTube and it seems like they're on fire, I encourage people to always look at that person's backstory and look at where they came from and see where they've learned and matured before they got to the point where they got on YouTube and set it ablaze. Like, for instance, you say the Logan Paul brothers, a lot of people may not like to, the Paul brothers, people may not like to talk about them, before they came on YouTube and set YouTube ablaze and then went off to other platforms. They were on Vine. They were doing their thing on Vine and learned, what they needed to learn there. And then probably before Vine, they were doing things on others, social media platforms, to where you take it from platform to platform and learn from your experiences. What's going on, Creative Spirit? I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for coming through. I'm just talking about YouTube, whether it's worth it to, make videos and whatnot, in 2018. And it really depends. It really depends on what you're looking for. It really depends on what you're trying to make happen. What's up, Llama Monster? I appreciate you for coming through. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming through. Love you, Llama Monster. Creative Spirit. Hopefully everything is well with you as well. But back to what I was saying about this whole YouTube, thing, this whole, creating videos and stuff like that. I believe that it's worth it if you understand the landscape, that if you're willing, not just willing, but if you going out there and you actually learning what you need to learn to put out the proper videos, or put out a certain production level of videos, the quality that you put out there, because some people say it's quantity. If it was quantity, I would be a millionaire on YouTube already. Like I said, I'll probably outpace some of the bigger YouTubers with content and hours that I put in, on some levels. But I digress from that situation. It's not just so much about the quantity of videos, but the quality and just what you learn from it and whatnot, and what you can take away. There's a lot of takeaways that I have even with my channel, and I encourage people to have a lot of takeaways from your channel and just really honestly self-efface and study it. It's worth it if you're making videos as a hobby. It's not a job. Well, Llama Monster, some people would debate you, because even as a hobby, what happens is you start getting into it like a job. You start clocking in or coming in every day, and you're posting videos or doing what you're doing if you're trying to meet certain guidelines or give yourself an opportunity. At times it can come off as a job. At times it can come off that way. But if you're doing it as a hobby, yeah, and you're just not really putting the pressure on yourself, it can be fun. It can be something that, you really just get into, and it's just really for, just the heck of it, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, But for me, I think YouTube, and this is just my opinion, I think YouTube is more of a place where you want to develop. It's not a job, it's a hobby. I would debate anyone on this. It depends. It depends, Llama Monster. I would love to debate you on it. It really depends on what you're doing with it. I mean, it can start off as a hobby. I'll guarantee guarantee that this could definitely start off as a hobby when it comes to YouTube. But I tell you this much: as you start to get subscribers, as you start to get views, as they start to cut checks, as it starts to become more viable, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny, Scott King. As it becomes more viable and it becomes more of a financial thing, where you can actually make some big bread off of this, it can become like a job. I will definitely give you that. This could definitely start off as a hobby for a lot of people. As a lot of people, this is definitely start off as a hobby. I'm not gonna knock you on that one. However, that hobby turns into a job once the money and the checks start to become real and they start to become big and people start knocking on your door, and then the pressure is to be this star or this influencer, this online influencer, and bring out people's products. Like if I was sponsored to Snapple, which I'm not, then I would be like, oh, buy Snapple. But the thing is just understanding that once the money is introduced, once the checks start getting cut, once they start getting bigger, once this starts to the subscribers start to come and the influence is there and people are really listening to you on a larger scale, this can definitely become a job. It can definitely become something pressure is added to, definitely can become your life. So that part is, like I said, that's not what I'm trying to debate or trying to get into, but I definitely hear you on that, Llama Monster. I'm just looking at whether or not it's worth it to be making videos in 2018 on here on YouTube. And I say to folks, it is. It just really depends on what you're looking for here, what you expect. You have to temper your expectations. The reality is a lot of people are not going to come out and say, hey, look, maybe you need to really focus on the learning aspect of it, learning how to put together the proper video, learning how to get the proper equipment, learning how to edit, learning how to put yourself out there in a way where you got your tags right, you got your titles together, you got your thumbnails and stuff in order, you know how to put your backgrounds together, your green screening and stuff like that, or the Chrome, the blue screen and whatnot, setting yourself up in locations and doing travel vlogs and doing Q&As and stuff like that on Twitter, doing trending videos, doing challenge videos, doing prank videos, doing all type of videos that people have. It takes time to learn all that stuff, but once you learn all that stuff, it's about figuring out what works for you and what you're good at and what the audience wants, and finding that balance in that medium and stuff like that, and then realizing what doesn't work for you. If you're just starting out and you think this is a job, you're setting yourself for a big disappointment. Yes, I definitely agree with you on that, Llama Monster. I won't even disagree with you in my mind about that. If you're just starting out and you're looking at this as a job, you're sadly mistaken. If you're coming on YouTube and you're thinking that you're going to get the same success that somebody who's crushing it and getting millions of views, a day or a week or a month or whatever the case may be, then you're out for a big disappointment. Now, if you happen to be that YouTube sensation where this is happening, of course, there's more to it. Maybe you had the skills, maybe you were ready and whatnot. How do you really get sponsors, even if you got bad language sometimes? Well, I mean, Scott King, for what I've been told from people who've got sponsors with bad language and all that other stuff, you find those sponsors or people that are willing to accept you for you. You look at those brands that may be adult orientated, be it certain beer companies or I don't know if it was gun enthusiasts, whoever it is, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to teach you how to get negative sponsorships, but it's ways for people that even curse a lot and do all that other stuff to get sponsors and whatnot. You have to be willing to let them know that what you're doing fits along with their brand. I'm not trying to help you with that though. Like I said, if you got the foul language or the bad thing going on, certain things, I'm not gonna cross that line. But it's ways. If you speak to certain influencers or corporate companies and let them know that this is who you are and where you can help them, then you can figure out the rest from there. People do it with liquor companies all the time. They do it with liquor companies all the time. Look at the rappers out there. They're selling liquor sometimes more than they're selling their own music. That's not a hard thing to do at all. The question is whether or not you want to partner up with these certain brands and companies or whatever the case may be to go in that direction. But for the interim, for the new YouTuber, for the smaller YouTubers that's out here doing it and trying to make it happen. I think it's more about learning. You come in here, you learn the process, you learn the strategy, you learn what works for you, you learn how to present it to the audience and understanding what's trending, understanding what may or may not go viral, what may or may not be the subject matter to talk about, or whatever the case may be, what may be the popular theory or the thing that people need to hear. It's just about trying different things and learning and being, realistic about what you may or may not get. Everybody's success and not is not the same. Results may vary. Like I said, when you upload videos, results may vary. But if you put in the work and you're consistent and you're honest and you're true about what it is you're trying to do, you will see progress. The progress may not be what you want it to be, but it will be progress. Like myself, I get video views, every day. I get, different, minutes, watch minutes and stuff like that on a regular basis, probably mainly because I'm uploading. But, it's for a purpose. I understand, I learn from it. I have takeaways, both negative and positive, for every video that I have. Different things that I could have done, maybe a little bit more exciting. Who knows? Like I said, maybe you take a break or something from live streaming, whatever the case may be. Learning to, just put that time in and really, modestly self-efface, really watch yourself, go over your videos, look at ways that you could have made the video better. Really, being honest, looking in the mirror and saying, this is me, this is what I'm doing, how could I change it? Getting feedback from people that are willing to be honest with you and, present it to you in a way where it's constructive criticism and something that can help you. And a lot of times I don't see people on this platform building up that network or those people that can give them constructive criticism or that really help them out to the point where they can say, wow, this is what I need to change. This is what I could, be doing better, or this is what I've done good, or, this is what I can do moving forward. So there's different things that, people need to know. There's different things that, you can learn. And sometimes you just have to watch people from a distance. You have to say, hey, maybe I'm not cool with this person or that person, but I can watch and I can study and I can learn from this person just by, observing how they, do business and conduct themselves, because that's definitely, part of it as well, and then taking that, information and passing it on, so, there's that business, but, as far as it goes, there's a lot of opportunities still out here on YouTube. But what I try to challenge people to do is to think about it beyond YouTube, to think about it beyond just this platform, beyond being YouTube famous. Because what happens when you become YouTube famous, when you become that YouTube star? What's the next step? One of the people that I like to watch a lot of times, and it's her maturation, is Lilly Singh, looking at how she became this YouTuber, this YouTube sensation, and, doing the girl love and really finding herself out there to the point where, you're on HBO and you're getting movie roles, or Amanda Sings, how she went from YouTube to Netflix and her own show on Netflix. You really look at the next steps, because if you become somebody who's top of the heap at YouTube, you do have an issue now. You do have a problem. What do you do next? How do you exit from YouTube? You don't want to be on YouTube forever, depending on YouTube forever. You appreciate it, but you move on, almost as if, comics going through Saturday Night Live. You go through Saturday Night Live and you could be somebody like an Eddie Murphy, you're stand-up comedian, so now you're a global, superstar, and you've done movies, and, you've done, stand-up routines, and, you've been in households all across the world. You have a situation where there's a maturation process, where there's a growth process, to where, okay, there should be a time limit to this thing. You were born to be a star. Okay, Scott King, nothing wrong with that. You see that whole journey out. But a lot of times people are not thinking about the next step. And sometimes, what do you do when you put your time, your energy, and your effort into it, and it's a situation that didn't work out the way you think? Do you quit? Do you leave it alone? Do you just say, hey, it doesn't matter because it didn't work there? Maybe it didn't work on YouTube, but maybe it will work somewhere else. The question is, what are the takeaways that you get from being on this platform and going through the process and putting out videos and really studying yourself and really saying, hey, this is where I needed to change. This is where I need to do things a little bit differently. This is where I'm stagnated. This is where I need to focus on more. This is when I need to take a break. This is when I need to step it up and ramp it up and have recorded material, or whatever the case may be. So it's a situation where those things are important. You know, it's important to really look at your arc, really to look at, you know, your progression, you know, or, you know, your digression in this whole YouTube experience and this online creating thing. You know, I try to look at my numbers. The numbers don't tell the whole story, but they help. They're one piece of it. And then the things that I can learn behind the scenes is another piece of it. And then the need to take a break is another piece of it. And then the need to learn how to promote is another piece of it. And then the networking and the collaboration and the things that people need to do in order to become better content creators is another piece of it. Because ultimately, being on YouTube is not about the money. I'll take you with me when I really do believe it's not. Well, hey, listen, Scott King. If you take me with you, you know, on your YouTube stardom journey, I'll cry a tear on your you know, on your live stream video, whatever. You know, who knows? Maybe I'd be your security or something. I don't know, executive manager. I don't know, negotiator. But for the most part, you know, it's not hard. It's not impossible. You know, even though the odds may be stacked up against people, it seems like it's stacked up against people at times. I challenge people to look at this thing with a clinical eye, to look at this thing in a different standpoint. Um, you know, it is bigger. It's so much bigger than YouTube. You know, the content creation, the world of online influencing. You know, the just, you know, it's so much to it. It's really so much to it. You know, and I really encourage people to really look at the whole picture, look at the bigger picture, look at the long game. You know, so don't just say, okay, my views are not there, my watch time is not up, the engagement is not what it should be. For me, one of the things I've learned from even being on this platform right now, and even right now, you know, with my live stream, you know, I've learned how to be at peace with not having a whole bunch of people supporting you at the time, when you're doing your thing, or have a lot of people saying, hey, maybe that's not for you, or, you know, hey, you're going about it the wrong way, or just learning to accept, you know, how you engage with the people that you engage with, learning to appreciate the audience that I do have, and understanding, you know, where I need to go moving forward. You know, I've come to a lot of places, you know, with this. What's up, Juice? What's going on, Juice? I'm just talking about YouTube, whether or not it's worth it making videos on YouTube and whatnot, you know, in 2018. And I said it really depends. It depends on what you're looking for. You know, it depends on, how things are working out for you. You know, if you're making the money, if you're getting the engagement, you know, if it's something where you learn to manage, you know, then, you know, it definitely, if, and also too, you know, it's like what Llama Master was saying, you know, if you make it into a hobby, then, you know, you're good. I couldn't possibly care less what other people think. I do what I want. Well, that's part of it too, Llama Monster. If you got that thing, you know, it's all about being original. Yeah, but nowadays, I guess everybody feels that they may be original while they're copying somebody else's style. You know, so you have to know whether or not you're actually original and not. Yeah, original and consistent. Yeah, I mean, being original and consistent is part of it, but you can be original and consistent and still be broke. You know, you can be original and consistent and still not get the engagement that you should get, because there's a business aspect to it. There's a maturation process, you know, to this whole thing. So, you know, it comes down to a point where, really, what do you want out of this thing? You know, really, what do you want to happen for it? I mean, are you going after it in a way where, you know, you're being realistic with yourself? Because sometimes people are looking at other folks' success. Like even you, Juice, I could look at your success and say, you know what, maybe I should be at that level now. Maybe I should be, you know, at this point where I have that particular, you know, success. You know, and you know, it's every journey is not the same for everybody else. Everybody's, you know, content, creation method can be different, regardless of the results or whatever the case may be. You know, just like you do what works for you for the vegan community, I have to do what works for me. You know, so it comes down to a point where it comes down to a point where, you know, I encourage people to learn as much as they can. You know, and just, you know, be realistic about their process. You know, of course, you know, being original, being consistent. You know, really taking it to that next level. You know, it takes time, but it can happen. You know, and just, you know, getting stuff together. If money and materials is sometimes the primary focus, that's not sustainable. It's way bigger than material. Yes, I agree. I was saying that before you came in, Juice. It's way bigger than money, materials, and stuff like that. But, you know, money and materials is important to understand moving forward as well, because if you have an audience and if you want to compete, if we want to talk about the competition aspect of this whole thing, and you want to compete on a different level, then yes, you have to really start looking into, how do you put your audio together? Like, is your audio situation right? Is your editing process together? Do you have, staging and sound, like, staging and costumes together and stuff like that. It is way bigger than just, you know, um, trying to get the money. Is way bigger than just trying to get a nice camera. It is a whole, atmosphere. It is a whole, like why are you important? You have to, you know, um, get people to connect with your story, with your purpose, with your being, for being there on time on YouTube. Once you accomplish your goal, material, what's next? Exactly. Well, definitely. It has to be sometimes something bigger than the material. If that's what you're about. Some people, it is just the material, wealth of it all. It is just, hey, I got my views, I got my check, and that's that. I mean, I don't knock anybody for doing that if that's just what it is for them. I mean, I try to see it for what it's worth. But if you're really willing to, engage and connect with people, on a larger scale, on a bigger level, then, it does come into, what's the worth of the value that you're trying to add to people's lives, to, really be like, okay, engage with me, walk with me, talk with me, let me just converse with you about, what's going on in the world, or, let me entertain you, or, help you escape for a few minutes, or whatever the case, or consider this, whatever, whatever thing that you're trying to get people to get into, whatever your passion, finding the like passions with people. So I mean, you understand that, Juice. Like I said, you're in the vegan community, so you share your passions and enthusiasm for, natural healthy living and stuff like that. Eating, vegan foods and stuff like that. So you definitely have that part of you that's going on in the music aspect and all that. So you find, where your audience is. You really go after it. When someone watches a video, it has to have some type of value. Yes, I agree. It should have some type of value. And, I encourage people to understand the value and the worth that they bring to somebody in their own way. And the thing is not to be discouraged, when you may not get the same numbers that somebody else is getting. That person that has presented themselves in that way to get whatever, audience engagement, or any money or checks that have been cut to them, they did what they needed to do in order to get to the point where they needed to be, however they got there. And everybody's journey is different, even if it's just to the same destination. But I really encourage people to really learn, grow, adapt, argue, question, explore, challenge everything. If someone can't benefit from viewing your content, they will not support you. Yes. But here's the thing about that, Juice. You have to explain to them. You have to explain to them how they will benefit from, viewing your content. And that's the problem. Even myself, I struggle with that at times, and forgetting that if you don't give people that hook, if you don't give people that why, that value, that value added part, it can get lost. It can get really lost why you should be watching a video. Like, even this video, why should you be watching it? Why should you watch this stream? I have to let that be known. I have to let it be known that this is, something to watch, because, this is something that I'm putting out there as far as, for you to consider about why you should or shouldn't make videos in 2018, or why is it worth it, or how does that factor function into what you're doing. And my answer to that is how this adds values to anybody who's a new to YouTuber, or whatever the case may be, is that you can actually waste time if you don't know where you're coming from. Now, thank you, Juice, but I was just making a point that a lot of times people's videos add value. I believe there's a lot of people out there. Yeah, nah, I need to start a podcast. It's timing, Juice, timing. Everything is all timing. I'm trying to put together some things and whatnot right now. I have stuff in the works. But, what I'll say to somebody, automatically is just that, your videos have value. If you're putting out content and people are watching your content, whether it's 5 people or 5,000 or 5 million, your videos have your video content has value to someone. But to understand how it may have value to even more people, you need to know what's valuable about your content. You need to know what's engaging about your content. You need to understand the highlights, the low points, the points that you probably shouldn't be focusing on at all as it pertains to your content. You modestly self-efface. You study to show yourself approved. You really look at yourself. Can I write off travel expenses to make my videos? Yes, you can. Yes, you can write off travel expenses to make your videos if you have a corporation, but that's another story all in itself. But those are things that you take the time out to learn and grow and do things with. If you have a corporate structure, and that's another thing too, since you brought that up, even just trollingly, if I don't know if you're serious or not, Scott King, you know, YouTube, gravitates more towards people that actually set up businesses and get on here and have a corporation, their name or their company under a corporation that uploads videos and whatnot, showing that you have employees that you pay, showing that you have tax write-offs. So you automatically, in their sphere, become somebody who understands the business of this, and it becomes, like, oh wow, now I can really, move and shake in this whole thing, as opposed to just having, a channel where you have a channel. If your channel gets taken away and they've paid you all this money, I don't know, what I'm saying. Oh, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, there's so much to learn, and there's so much I could say, pertaining to this subject, but the reality is, you have to be willing, not just willing, but you have to go out there and really study this thing and really, pour your interest and your time and your effort, sometimes your money, your love into this, if this is what you love to do. Now, if this is just a hobby, if this is just something you're doing on the side, then hey, leave it at that. Don't put pressure on yourself to be something that you're not on this platform. Don't put pressure on yourself to make this whole YouTube experience more than what it needs to be. For some people, they're fine with uploading videos every once in a while. Maybe they do it for a family member that's passed away, or maybe they do it to, just, communicate with people, whatever the case may be. Thank you, Juice. I appreciate that, But like I said, I don't know. I just speak to people that are smaller YouTubers, people that are struggling with views or subscribers or content. Take the time out. Take this time when nobody's really watching you. Take this time when folks are not really paying attention to you to learn your content. This is a precious moment. Even me right now, this time, these are precious moments that I have now. I want to do it for the Hornets. Well, hey, whatever reason you want to do it for, Scott King, that's up to you. I tell people, when you're starting off, or when you got low numbers, or you don't have the support that you feel like you have, take advantage of that, because as you get more eyes on you, there's more scrutiny that comes, there's more ridicule, there's more criticism, all that stuff that comes, more negativity that can come your way, just as the positive stuff. So this is a time to learn and make mistakes, and really just find yourself, into where you get into your niche, until you get into the point where you're doing your thing and it's happening in the way that it needs to happen for you. So I don't know. It's just so much to learn. It depends, like I said, it depends on what you want to do with this thing. And I'm not going to keep repeating myself and just talking and talking and talking. But there's so much to learn as far as, what you can and can't do with this content. The thing is to be realistic with yourself, not put undue pressure on you to be something that you're not, So, that's really just what that is. And on that note, before my voice gets hoarse for some reason, maybe I need to drink some tea or something like that, thanks for listening. Thanks for your support as always. I appreciate it. I don't expect everybody to agree with everything that I said. I don't expect everybody to watch every live stream. I don't expect them to watch for a whole long time. I appreciate the people that have supported, that continue to support. I'm down for the folks. It's down for me. I'm gonna keep doing my thing until it doesn't make sense to do it here anymore, and that's just what it is. All right, Scott King, I got you. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Yeah, I think I said what I needed to say on here. Yeah. It's a learning process, though. It's definitely a learning process. Don't quit.